Everyone, if you are enjoying this content, if you just arrived here, right, to this insanity that is all black everything roundtable, right? Hit that follow button. Hit that follow button right now. Make sure notifications are on so you know I'm going live. We do this 7 nights a week. We're always around, either here or on YouTube. Check us out. We always got more content for you. So hit that follow button. Uh, Hit us up on our social media. We got exclamation social and chat. We have Twitter where we tweet things out. If you're missing what's happening on the channel and you're not on our Twitter, so hit us up on Twitter. We got Discord. Discord where everything happens, including Open Walk on panel, which we'll have right after this, right? So even after this panel, we still got more content for you. So hit us up on Twitter or on Discord. And YouTube is where you find the VODs, right? So like, comment, subscribe. If you missed anything, check out our YouTube. Consider becoming a YouTube member, hitting that join button. To help us out again. And if you're really enjoying the content, throw us a sub, right? You get us ad-free viewing, and you'll get our emotes, exclamation emotes in chat. You get all that. So support this channel, support this community if you like this content, and we keep giving you more of it. Then help us keep it around. All right, so we are going to move forward to our next topic. All right, when comparing two political candidates with similar positions, is it fair to pick the black candidate just because they are black? What if the black one has significantly worse platform or history? So I got to thinking about candidates of the past, and look, the big one was Obama, right? A lot of people said they voted for Obama because he was black. I want to know, is that okay? Right? I want to explore this, and especially when things are mixed. I think things were easier in that particular race between Obama and, at least in the primaries, Obama and Clinton, right? So I'm curious where you guys all land on this. All right, so we'll start with Bam, please.
Generally, yeah, it's super. Generally speaking, is like if all else is equal, pick black. Well, at least in my interest as a black person, that's what I would stick. In cases where it's not equal, like obviously you should go with a better candidate. For example, I'm not voting for Tim Scott. Like that, I don't think that serves the interests of black people generally. But no, I don't think it's wrong for black people to just because of our financial and political position in this country to prioritize blackness in a way that's different from a lot of other communities try to prioritize things. I think it's like I think blackness can be extremely crucial to people's politics. So yeah, that's the long and short of it.
Eli.
Yeah, so I think that when you have like two candidates of equal caliber, I think it is good to go ahead and do the what affirmative action set out to do, instead of giving it to predominantly white women. Actually, yeah, choose the black candidate. I feel like, especially considering how black people have had to navigate, the how should I say, workforce, and how oftentimes we've been denied jobs, we've been denied promotions solely because we are black. To kind of even that out, especially if you don't want to talk about reparations. I know a lot of people don't want to talk about reparations, what have you. One of the best ways in which you can kind of even things out is put black people in more give black people more opportunities to work and stuff like that. Yeah, if the two candidates are of equal caliber, yeah, pick black.
GSU.
Yo, so yeah, I've told a lot of people before that I only voted for Obama because he was black. It was a really selfish reason to want to see a black man in that position in the hopes that that changed like sociological things that made more opportunity for me later. The problem that I find is um, when it comes to other races, a lot of them are fearful of admitting that there's like in-group biases and they're not willing to say, hey, I like certain people because they're white or Asian or whatever the race tends to be. So I think it's only problematic when people are afraid to admit that they have some in-group biases. And I think people should be aware of those and they should work to rectify them in situations like what you said in the latter half is what if they have a significant worse platform? I think that's a really bad thing. I wouldn't ever I don't think I would ever vote for somebody black with a significantly worse platform just because they were black. I thought Hillary Clinton was trash. So I loved Obama because he was black, but I also thought Hillary was trash. But yeah, so I think that it's fine to acknowledge that we have in-group biases. I think we should be open and honest about those and maybe try to work to solve those. But at this point in where we are in American history, I think is advantageous for us and our youth to see black people in positions of power in the hope that that gives them inspiration and hope. Blah, blah, blah.
Jamali.
Oh fuck! I went to go drink of water. Dream, go.
Okay. I think.
All right, I'm kidding. I'm done. All right,
Okay.
so, so obviously, the biases that people face for people who look like them exist in all human beings and all parts of the world. People have a particular, bias that they want people who are looking similar to them, at the very least, at the base level, in charge of their government, for the most part. If they're equal, there's probably something that I know we're working within a hypothetical here, but like part of me is just like, there's no political candidates that can be completely like equal on the same things. Otherwise they wouldn't be running against each other in like something, unless they were in the same party that was extremely narrow in terms of their views. But yeah, pick. Sure, I would pick black. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't give a shit. Like, pick whoever's gonna do the best job. That's who I care about. And if two people are equal and there's one black person and there's one white person, I don't know. I'll throw a fucking dart at the board or something. I think maybe I'll just check something off, just blindfolded. Okay. I don't care.
All right, Dream.
I think when most people say they voted for Obama because they're black, I think they're oversimplifying their answer, or they're just flat out lying to themselves. Because they probably wouldn't vote for Obama if Obama was a Republican, and I imagine like Hillary Clinton.
Well, think about the primaries, like the primaries, right? Between him and Clinton. That's what like GSU.
Yeah,
just mentioned.
I was about to go.
Okay,
talk about that right now. Right. And the thing about Hillary Clinton was that she was a horrible person. Like obviously Obama was gonna win. Like because Obama was a way better person. Like he's not only just black, but he's also a good person. Like I don't think people would have voted for him if he was morally worse than Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton? No, thank you. I don't think black people will put that on their conscience to vote a morally worse person than Hillary Clinton. No, that's not what black people would do. So I think people are just lying to themselves when they say that. Obama was a good candidate, not just because he's black, but he was a good candidate. And that's why they voted for him. And it was a great thing that he's black too. So that was what happened. What I think. Also, when it comes to candidates similar positions, is it fair to pick the black candidate? I think, sure. I don't see why not. Like, I don't think that's inherently a bad thing at all. But obviously, if somebody has a worse history or background, then it's obviously smart not to do that. But let's say they have the same history, similar platform. I would pick the one, not just because they're black, but whoever has the best personality. Like, I like personalities. Like, if I can relate to you as a candidate, I will pick you better. If you're like, doesn't matter if you're black, if you're boring, if you're lame, compared to like a very hip white person or Latino person and cool and relatable, I'll pick that person over you if you have the same position and same history. I think in personality and relatability matters more. Charisma matters in politics, so I would pick that person over if everything was equal.
Azzy, please.
This is an interesting one. I probably would not vote. Well, just because someone has it depends on what you mean by worse platform than somebody who's non-white. I feel like people just vote for their values. If you have this, if your platform is along the lines of what somebody is looking for when you're in office, they're gonna vote for that person. So, I mean, I guess I understand what you mean by this is a leftist space, so I know what you mean. So probably. Nah, but I would say it's heavily dependent upon the person. Like if anything, if people just voted for people just because they were black, they would have voted for Kanye or even better, Cory Booker. They didn't. And then if anything, what's his name? Raphael Warnock. If they had known, maybe if because he clearly came out a lot of he's a minister, right? But then he came out that he's pro-choice. A lot of Christian black folk probably wouldn't have voted for him if they had known before. I'm not privy to the information. Maybe he was pro-choice, but that was one of his running. I have no idea. Yeah, bruh, but if you're just like outright like a gangster, just like a mob boss running for president, yeah, I'm not gonna vote for you. Be black, be blue, be purple. It doesn't matter.
And finally, Ruby.
So I don't believe in voting for people just because they're black, simply because being black doesn't mean you're pro-black. We've seen that with Kamala Harris. We've seen that with Maxine Waters. Yeah, I'm not going to trust any politician to lead with that as their campaign. But in the case of Obama, I think people were obviously very tired of the right-wing conservatism leading. And so I think we flip-flop a lot. I think it was more so the fact that he was a Democrat, and black people notoriously will vote for Democrats over Republicans. I think there were a lot of factors socially happening as well that aided in that. And I think, to someone's point earlier, people look to vote for people who are charismatic and match their values. But I think it's very dangerous to vote based on personality, because a lot of their personalities are contrived to pander to who they know will vote for them. I don't trust any politician. I trust what they stand for. And I think ultimately that's what people should be looking at when the platforms and their values are more important to me than what they look like, how charismatic they are, like their religion. Like, these are all things that I know people vote based on, and I think are dangerous.
I think you should.
I just want. Hold on.
I'm already a fan of yours because you managed to trigger my man Bam by saying Kamala Harris.
There's no Kamala no Kamala slander is allowed tonight. There's no Kamala Harris slander.
Don't play like black people would have been all unified behind Kamala. Let's not play these games.
No, they wouldn't have, but that's an issue. The only thing you said that was true outside of that disgusting slander was the fact that, like, I think I was lying when I gave my answer. I don't actually believe in I don't think I have a strong interest in the person being black. I think I do have a stronger interest in pro-blackness. So that means, like, not necessarily you black. That's like, who are the members of your team? What ways are you are catering towards the black community? So that's like, and that's not like pander. I don't care about pandering. Like the fact that Bernie went on what is it, the Breakfast Club, meant nothing to me. But like, are you dealing with are you visiting like the black pastor? Are you meeting with the black pastors? Are you going to predominantly black states and meeting in communities where black people are? Those things are the things that I prioritize.
How is that pandering?
I just associate those things to be.
Wait a minute. I just want to make that distinction. Like, how is going on the Breakfast Club, which is like a massive like radio show that black people listen to, right? How is that pandering? But then talking to black pastors is not.
Because that's not public. It's different.
Wait, what?
Like,
no, what?
It's not even about that. It's not even about that. I expect the politician to be public, but I think that, like,
that's not what pandering is.
That was the entirety of his like black interaction.
No, it wasn't. But okay, all right. Well, I won't have to read the Bernie campaign.
I want to attack something that Dream said. Because maybe you were too young to vote. I absolutely voted for Obama because he was black. He was like people.
But he was Democrat too, though. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's black and
Democrat. None of that matter. None of that.
Okay.
Matter.
Well, I think maybe you're maybe a rare exception.
No, not at all. No, like Jeezy made my president black. Everybody black was gonna vote for Obama then, and I think
even if it was a Republican candidate.
It doesn't matter. None of that matters. But
I disagree,
anyway,
but okay. There's no way we can deny.
well, maybe that does matter. Yeah, I
know
can't
what?
say that doesn't matter.
I actually agree with
So y'all-
GSU with this right
Hold on,
now.
wait. I'm gonna finish though. But
Go ahead.
like a lot of us were young, so we didn't understand shit like like we weren't gonna look into Obama's foreign policy position. None of us gave a fuck about that. Like everybody was playing my
Speak for
president's
me.
black.
Speak for yourself. But continue.
Okay, yeah, I'm
I
talking
went
about-
up to
I'm-
my
How old were you in
English.
2008?
I went up to
Riri?
my
I'm not
English
speaking for
101
you if you're
teacher.
not a part of the group that I'm talking about. I'm sorry if you weren't able to intellectualize that.
Do
So
not
anyway,
speak
back to what I was
for
saying.
Me, speak for yourself. I looked into.
Wait.
those things.
Listen.
Okay.
Wait, how old were you in
Not to call you
2008?
stupid. I'm trying my best. Listen, I'm
Much older than
specifically.
you must think
No,
I
no,
am.
no. I don't
Let's
care
get
about
that
your age. I'm
No, I do.
specifically
I do.
talking about people that
Speak for
voted for him
yourself.
because he was black. If you weren't one of those people, idiot, then you're not a part of that group. I'm speaking about a certain group of people.
Let's,
So if you are a part of that,
I don't think you
excuse
guys
yourself.
really
and
know
you're not
how to
actually a part of
debate
that.
Let's-
without
Okay,
insulting
so
people.
anyway,
let's,
so
No, they
let's
don't.
You should
knock off.
probably learn some
if
more
you're
respect.
gonna endlessly interrupt me with stupid shit, I'm
I'm
eventually
not
calling you out on
interrupting
it.
you. I'm
Let's-
debating.
Let's not do ad
No,
homs.
no,
Let's
okay.
not. Let's knock
Alright,
off
anyway,
ad homs. Go
Anyway,
ahead.
okay. Yeah, all right. So if you're done with the stupid shit. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying. So
Stupid
a lot of the
shit,
people
okay.
that were voted for Obama specifically because he was black, I don't think like we didn't care about his policy positions and all of that shit. It was all about, all right, we want to see a black man in the White House because we think socially this is going to be good for black people.
Who is we?
The black
Can you
community
hear?
generally.
Can you hear?
Don't get
No,
baited. Don't get baited. Come on,
no,
bro.
There's
Let's
just
go from
facts
there.
to this.
Wait, Riri, I'm gonna say.
You got kids.
Hold on.
You got- you-
Riri
oh,
asked the
come
question.
on
You
now.
know.
Riri asked
You
the
know.
question, so I'm gonna
Please,
answer.
you
I'm
told
gonna
me.
say this for the fourth time because apparently
Can
I
this
add
person
something to
can't
this?
fucking hear. I'm specifically talking about the masses of people that voted for him solely because he was black. I gave you the demographic group that I'm talking about. So when you ask who, that means that either you're ignorant or you're not listening. But you should
Come
fix
on,
that.
GSU. Don't get baited. Come on,
Can I
man.
add something to this,
Okay,
please?
fine. Eli, go ahead.
Come on,
No.
dog.
I kind of agree with like a lot of things that have been said so far, right? So like I do agree with GSU Gambit, right? Like there were black people who voted for Obama because think about it, like it's never happened before, right? That a black man, like we thought, oh, we have a shot, or that some of us did thought that like a black candidate has a shot, and that because he's black, he might know our struggles, and that because he knows our struggles, he might try to make things better. But unfortunately, that's not really how
First
things
black
went.
person to run for president.
I know that. I'm saying the first time I feel like that
Yeah.
that a lot of people
The
were like,
motivation.
oh, yeah, the motivation. Yeah, thank you. But I also agree with what Ree was saying as well about how you also have to look at we can't throw out like policy and the fact that we do have to look at that. But I also understand that like a lot of people didn't care about that. So it's kind of like a catch-22 there. Like we didn't care. We were like, yeah, let's see if we can get a black man in the White House. Let's see if we can do that. But there's also a danger there. Like, is this black guy
sure.
that we're promoting? Is he pro-black? There are a lot of black people who, if
I
you
think
were to
there's
put
a
them,
danger in any generalization and
Yeah.
choosing someone based on the way they look.
right?
Like, I
right.
can't believe this is even a debate. Like,
And then-
really?
Wait, we're not debating that. That's
Oh
a good
my
then
thing.
God.
can I?
You're so
I'm almost-
lost.
I'm almost.
Jesus.
You gotta bite the bullet,
He-
Riri. We're not talking about only based on race.
Can I?
You did though, Dream.
No,
You
I am.
literally said you voted on
I
someone
wasn't-
based on charisma and personality.
And when all things are equal, are you not getting that part?
Eli,
She can't hear sometimes.
Eli, finish your point.
When all
I
things
was-
are equal.
I was gonna say, like, I think in a way when something like that happens, where like a demographic is like, yeah, let's get it. We could do this. This guy, we're gonna put him in his position of power. He's gonna change things. I think in a way that preaches to, and maybe I'm preaching in the choir here, that preaches to in a way sort of the desperation of that group and maybe the disempowerment of that group in a way. You know what I mean? So. I see both sides, and I see that there's good arguments on like both sides, and I think I understand both. That's my point.
And to be clear, I'm not saying people ought do this, and I'm even saying that what I did, I feel like was irresponsible. But that is what happened. I'm speaking to exactly what happened in the minds of lots of people that were like, "Hey, I'm gonna solely vote on this based off race." I'm not saying that that's the correct thing to do. That's not how we should approach politics in any way. But that's absolutely what happened. A lot of people wanted the hope of, hey, a black guy running the country might make it better for us. Not saying that absolutely was what was going to happen, just that's what a lot of people thought.
Obama did get
That wasn't the
95%.
question. The question was, is it fair? So I'm saying that it's not fair to do that.
Okay.
I don't think anybody disagrees. Well, oh wait a minute. Actually, I did disagree with that originally. Like I said, I think I lied in my original perspective. I do care about like how pro black you are. I just assume the fact that usually that's going to come from someone in a black body. Like and like I said, that's not always the case. Like I said, I mentioned specifically I wouldn't vote for Tim Scott. But in the overwhelming majority of cases, if I look at two people's campaigns, which campaign is going to have a closer interest at the heart of the black people community, generally speaking, that it seems to be black people.
Like, and also, I just wanted to add, like, there are a ton of black people that are like famous and what have you, that if you were to put them up against like, you know, a white candidate, or like if you were to put them up against like, I basically just wouldn't vote for him. Okay, like I would not vote for, let's say, Umar Johnson if he would have run. Hell no, I would not be voting for that motherfucker. I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for Kanye. Not in a million fucking years. Like, and it's because I'm looking at who they are as people, and I'm already throwing them out before I even make a policy because I know most likely
no Kanye slander will be allowed.
Yeah, no Kanye slander. And what about the Rock?
Fuck Kanye. Okay?
No, but Kanye is an example.
For the Rock,
maybe there's an argument there.
I think Kanye is a good example.
Just disrespectful.
Maybe there's an argument for the Rock. Maybe there's an
argument.
No,
hold on, but hold on, wait, y'all. I think Kanye is a beautiful example that people won't vote for somebody just because they're black, right? Like the other things matter for a large portion of the voting population. So there's probably some people that voted for Kanye just because he was black, but I think.
Yes,
a lot of people, like,
yes, exactly what I was trying to
I
say
bet
earlier. Generalization wasn't true.
Wait.
I agree with you, Gambit. I agree with you in that
you're taking two different races with two different scenarios. We had already had a black president at the point of Kanye, so there's going to be less people that are energized. And then, like his presidency.
Can I finish what I was saying, or are you just?
Go ahead.
I'll let you finish. I'll give you the rights to finish.
Bitch, you bitch.
What? What?
Chill out.
What's going on?
Jamali, you need to calm down.
Jamali.
Y'all are chemically imbalanced tonight.
Jamali.
What's going
Oh
on?
my God! You know what? Like,
Jamali.
Y'all, it was one nigga.
Jamali.
Y'all,
what was that?
Y'all, I don't know. Like,
Gambit.
Don't yell at us. That was Jamali.
I'm just saying, Gambit.
This
you
is
don't
only
give
when I
those
show
rules.
up,
You
Riri.
don't stop saying things. You know, when people say, "Let me finish," you just go on. But usually,
you don't need to let me do anything. I'm a grown ass adult. Okay, you're gonna stop disrespecting me, or I'm not gonna address you at all. In fact, I'm done talking to you.
Oh,
please continue, someone else.
I appreciate. that. I appreciate that.
Jamali, hold on, Jamali.
I know you're not talking about
Jamali. Hold on, we got to work this out now. We got to work this right.
No, I don't know talking to you, Gambit. I'm done talking to you. Goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Jamali, he just made up a scenario.
I'm really confused as to what just happened. So we're gonna
made up a scenario she bought, bro.
Shut
What's
up.
wrong with you?
I'm really confused as to what happened, and so we're gonna figure this out right now. Okay, Jamali, what the fuck was that? Who are you talking?
So Gambit was just saying something. Riri said that. Is she going to be allowed to finish? And then Gambit paused like he wanted to continue, and then he stopped, and then I called him a little bitch.
Basically, you say he's simping.
Oh, I thought you were talking to her. I was like, that's why that's crazy. I don't get it.
It's still
Please
crazy.
Stop defending me. I'm just not gonna address someone who's
Wait, I'm not. Wait.
We can move on. I don't want to derail the conversation.
No. Because you think I was defending you. Hold on. I want to make sure you understand that to me, you're insignificant. You don't matter at all.
This is dumb.
I'm gonna let you talk.
Okay. I'm not talking to you.
The reason why
I know you're not there, but like
okay,
no,
all right.
So
anyway, but Jamali, I don't specifically care about this person.
Real good right
I'm just not comfortable with people calling black women that. So if you want to call this person that, I don't care for this person. This person is idiotic. It's clear. But it just caused me to pause because I'm like, wait,
okay.
Call black
all
women.
right. So now
I didn't even mean it seriously towards Gambit.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move forward. This is weird.
I thought it was very mature.
Let's pull back.
Yeah,
right.
I don't want to derail the conversation, so I'm just gonna move forward.
All right. So then I'll move forward the conversation myself. All right. If it is okay in any circumstance for people to vote for a person just because they're black, right? for black people to vote for a person just because they're black, then is it also okay for white people not to vote for a person just because they're black?
Yep.
Well, I think the counter would be white people voting for white people because they're white,
No,
not
yeah,
white
but
people
I
not
want to.
voting.
I understand what you're saying, but like, is it okay for white people to say, well, this is a, like I'm looking at these two people, and yeah, I guess they look all right, but like that's a black fella there. I'm not really trustworthy of that. And I'll vote for him because
Why are
yeah,
you
go ahead.
laughing?
Eli?
Yeah, no,
What-
it's not. Oh, Eli can go.
Because
I think
that's a
can I
dumb-
answer that question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I would say no, and the reason why is because, like, okay, when we evaluate why, in many cases, black people or people of color in America might not like white people in many ways, we get, like, historical reasons, like historical systemic oppression and what have you. Meanwhile, when we evaluate why a white person most likely is not going to vote for a black person or most likely dislikes a black person, what's the reason there? An illusional sense of superiority over that black person or that person of color. It's not rooted in any sort of, typically, not rooted in any sort of trauma. It's not rooted in any sort of, mistreatment from black people, typically, because there
Neither
are
are
some white
logical.
people out there that what'd you say?
Neither are logical reasons.
No. You might disagree, but let me just finish, okay?
Sure.
Usually, when black people, are prejudiced or bigoted against white people, it comes from a place of hurt. It comes from a place of mistreatment. It comes from a place of trauma. Meanwhile, when it's from the other side, and I'm not saying that, like, it can't be the same for white people, because there are some white people who have had, like,
Just get your point out. Go on,
lived in all black
Where are
lived
you
in all
going
black
with this?
neighborhoods that have been maybe
Bullied
beaten
because
up
they're
on the
white.
way. Yeah, bullied, beaten up. Hold on, let me just they've been bullied and what have you. So there, that can still, like, it can be, sorry, I lost my train of thought with you guys interrupting.
Yeah, when you guys do that, people can't think. I just want to let you. I just hope you understand.
He's rambling. We're just trying to get to
I'm
the
not-
point.
I'm
brother.
He's not
no, I'm not
rambling.
rambling.
Y'all are
I'm not
just
rambling.
impatient.
And then what ends up happening is, and I can see that there's like a valid reason. I've talked to white people about that kind of stuff before, right? But for the most part, it's this illusional superiority of being superior to another person solely based off of the color of their skin that has been passed down in many cases. Not all cases. Not all cases. And
Trust me.
that's my point.
Man,
Okay,
black
first
people
of all-
think they're superior too. I mean, have you been
That's
around?
not
Sometimes,
true.
yeah. Sometimes,
No,
yes.
hold on. Bam,
not-
bam. You're gonna tell
No.
me black people don't think they're superior to white people?
I'm saying that's not.
There are
That's
some
the,
there are some black people who do think that
This
they're
is not.
superior to
It's
white
a
people.
huge
Black
culture thing.
separatists. Yeah,
Okay.
black separatists.
Not even
Prime,
like
you,
if you listen
you
to
may
Black
actually
Twitter,
not
that's
be able
the
to have
thing.
Dream and Monty on at the same time. These
Lot
niggas
of
is too avid interrupters, and
A lot
they're
of
like
black-
interrupting each other, interrupting. Like, but
Mute
like
somebody.
what the actual answer is. What you said leads to a bunch of like dangerous consequences that we like
didn't
that
say it
we
was-
wouldn't. But no, but like, just let me finish. See, you know what I'm saying? Both these niggas.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It leads to a bunch of really dangerous consequences because, like you were started alluding to in your second point, anytime there's a white person who happened to get beat up by black people, like now that justifies his bigotry. That's not.
I'm not saying that justifies it. I'm just saying, like,
That's not the point.
But-
The actual reason is there's a difference between being pro something and being anti something. Being pro black is a positive position we can hold in society, but we can still decide that anti blackness is bad for society, and we can hold that for any
Right,
other community. Like being pro LGBT is something you can be, but that doesn't mean we have to allow anti LGBT like behavior, et cetera, et cetera. That's a more consistent answer that we can apply to society. Not that if you feel like you've been wronged, it's okay to have bigotry.
well, I'm just saying, like, in many cases, we should understand why people have that bigotry and see.
Sure, that's empathy, but that's not sympathy.
Yeah, but right. And in many cases, when we understand where these people are coming from with their bigotry, we can hopefully work towards maybe potentially deprogramming that bigotry, or at least in a way, come to an understanding. Does that make sense?
Sure,
Hold
but
on,
what you alluded to. Oh, my bad. Yes, you can go. Let me just say 2 words and then you go. What you're alluding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're right about that. let me say 17
Nah, he
words.
apologized. Like,
Let me say
civil
17
adult.
words. When you what you allude to when you were originally speaking is that it was okay for black people to to be anti-white. Like there was some justification to like hold that bigotry against individual white people. That's still not okay for black people. Even if we can empathize and understand, it's not okay. My bad,
I'm not. I don't think it's okay. But I'm trying to. I guess it's like they're not the same, basically. Like in a way, that if that makes sense.
But both bad.
Yes, they're both bad. Yes, they're both bad.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's
So
all
what's
I
the
wanted
point
to
of
say
your
is.
point, bro?
Never
No,
mind.
seriously,
Fuck it.
why
Forget
did
it.
you even
Forget
bring
it.
it up?
Forget it. Forget it. Never mind. Somebody else talk. Just somebody else talk. Never mind. Forget it.
So we all know
No,
that voting for
he-
people based on your skin tone is bad, right? We all
Yeah,
agree,
like
right?
obviously.
All right. So like if there are times where maybe in a post-apocalyptic world where, you know, everything's in sort of like a anarchical state between different like factions across the United States, you know, maybe
If it's anarchy, then why are we voting for president? Like, if it's
we're not, but like, you know, you have to align yourself with someone. You can't just be out in the wilds by yourself. You're gonna get fucking gooned up. Okay, you gotta be with someone. You gotta be in a gang, bro.
So
Max would disagree with you, but okay.
All right, but fine.
Speaking as a staunch ass female who is gonna cry tonight, I did want to say that I do think that voting based on appearance is wrong on either side. So my opinion still stands on this. I think it's dangerous to vote based on that, based on race, based on religion, that people do vote for these ideologies because we assume that just because someone is Christian or just because someone is black, that they're pro-black and that they have our best interests at heart. And they don't. Like, at the end of the day, we do have to step outside of race, step outside of religion, and not allow these politicians to pander towards those things. And I will say, and speaking of generalizations, which I don't like to, there are a large majority of black people who do vote based on those things. And there are a large majority of white people who also vote based on religion as well, and race. So yeah, my opinion still stands on that.
Yeah, we all agree that those people are dumb. No,
Yeah,
I have a question for you, Riri.
No,
Okay.
I do not agree. It is not about intelligence, because sometimes just voting for somebody based upon having similar values can be power plays.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, just voting for Obama was a power play against.
But that's different though. Voting for particular values is different from voting for skin color. I guess what she's saying, what other people are saying, is that skin color doesn't equal values, right?
But she said them all together in a list. They may be different, but she essentially said along the lines, all that stuff is dangerous, and you know.
Wait, what did you think I said?
She's saying
she included religion.
Wait, can she just say
You
what she
said
said?
religion, you said values, you said skin color.
I said
she didn't say
religion.
values.
I said religion and race.
Yeah, she said
religion, race. Well, I'll just religion in a way is organized values.
Yes.
Values.
Not necessarily.
True.
We're all smart enough. We're all reasonable.
Yes.
That's not specifically.
necessarily.
I wasn't talking about the values in religion. I was talking about just the fact that they are Christian.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of
plenty of
people
people-
who
just the
don't have
association.
those specific values that you have, but
Right.
happen to be Christian. Just like there are people who happen to be black who don't share your values.
True, but what you're saying is only like what you're saying is true, but it like again it goes to like that's only true in a vacuum. Generally speaking, we do look at what communities people come from, what how they intersectionally on, and it can tell you a lot about a person generally. That's not always the case,
No.
but like seeing someone black, seeing what like I said, seeing the intersections of people's identity can probably tell you a lot, some of the experiences they share, some of the a little bit of probably something about their background. Like
You'd have to confirm that before voting for them.
sure, but I'm saying that,
That's
but I'm
the
saying we're
point.
having the conversation, but I'm like having the conversation and saying that like, oh, this is what someone looks like doesn't guarantee that they hold this position. Well, yeah, obviously that's true, but again, that's the surface level boring conversation. And when you real life apply these things, like when I didn't know none of y'all when I first started doing ABA, but as soon as I seen, I was like, oh, okay. These are black people. They probably had somebody in their families has, been to
What would
jail. They
Fanatic
probably
say?
have
What would
some type of
Fanatic
shared
say?
experiences with me.
What would Fanatic say? GSC, you say it, because
What?
because I don't use the N word on air. I only use it with my family.
What about
your
what would
white
Fanatic say? What would Fanatic say?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I
He's
lost.
not even listening. You missed the. Let's keep.
No,
going.
I'm
Go ahead,
listening. I
man.
just don't know what he was
Go
saying
ahead,
about
man.
niggas.
Go ahead,
Listen.
man.
Mhm.
Thank you.
But
Thank you.
but yeah, I
Thank you.
didn't think that. Whenever
Mr.
before I met
Punchline.
any of y'all,
Oh.
I didn't assume anybody. I was like, they probably aren't Nazis. Why? Because they're black, and there's probably a bunch of intersections of identity that would lead you to generally not hold those type of positions. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you apply it in real life, identities can tell you a lot about a person. Like that, sure you can confirm. You like with a politician, you would confirm after the fact, but it's something that can lead you to like narrowing your positions. Like, oh, okay,
Right.
For sure.
these people give me the best odds of finding
Sure.
someone that sort of fits into
Sure,
whatever I believe.
But your physical appearance and identity like that tells you less than when you ask somebody what their ideological, moral theories are. Like,
But most
obviously,
people don't get that chance to get in front of a person and ask you, "Hey, what do you believe?" Unless you're going,
You don't
unless they have all the funds and all the
yeah.
time to go to every open house and have every
Like a lot of
interview.
people don't even
and
listen
then-
to the
Sure.
Yeah,
You don't have
or
to.
any
You
of
don't.
that.
I'm not asking somebody to you don't have to ask anybody in person, right? Like, obviously, no, but you can do research on them and read their
But a lot
bio.
of
Yeah,
people
but
don't,
research doesn't answer
unfortunately.
everything. Research doesn't
Okay.
answer everything, and most
I
people
agree.
don't know how to do good research.
So
Sure,
okay,
I know
sure.
that for a fact.
hold on. So I want to.
So
Can I ask Riri
hold-
a question? Where?
Oh,
please?
you never get
No.
to ask. Hold on,
He did
I
wanna
want
do
to
it.
before we get away from this. Like, I'm gonna let you do this. D1, I want to let you ask that question, but I need to hit this before we move away. So, Bam, I think you made a really good point, and which shocked me. But I think you made a really
shit,
good
dang.
point. Talking about how
disrespectful,
skin color actually does end up in real life being a shortcut for values. When you can say, right, like I could be wrong, right? If you look at a group of individuals, like you could be wrong, and one of them could be a Nazi, right? But it's extremely unlikely, right? Like, but every so often the Candace Owens shows up. But anyway, so like you could be, but it's like a good measure, right? It's like, okay, there's a base minimum of experiences and perspective that I can put upon this person, right? This is super interesting. I think this subject is super interesting because one, what can white people do the same to black people, right? Can they look at a black person and like see like, oh, there's a base?
No, they should also choose black.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree about that. They should
also choose black. They should
I get it,
actually,
right?
the white people should be the only people who actually have a bias, and it should be black.
Okay, all right, yes. Especially if you're talking about white women, always choose black. All right.
Yeah.
So so like, can they? Would it be fair for them to put on those experiences, especially if they happen to be negative, right? If we're saying black people can do that, then would it be fair for and they put on positive traits? Would it be fair to put on the basis negative trait? Maybe
Wait.
This guy, he's probably a good guy, but he might be a little lazy. I don't know, right?
Yeah, hold on, wait. But I think all of us are calling out that it's not necessarily fair, but that it happens. And that's why, like, echoing back to what I said at the beginning, I think people need to be cognizant that they're making these choices. And that's how you truly get away from the unfair side of it. Like, if I'm assuming something negative about somebody, I want to understand, why did I make that assumption? And then I want to work backwards to try and at least validate that my assumption was correct. Like, certain people, they jump on these panels and they try to act like they like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna be like rah rah rah, and then they become soft and they start tagging you in chat. Like, I knew that certain people would do that, but I needed to confirm that they would be that soft.
Why you gotta call me out like that? That's okay.
I think that
about you.
I think
hold
that
on, though.
I think that's true, and the reality is like, and
You don't know me, brother.
I love
You
Prime
don't
Chat,
know me.
but I'm gonna chew y'all out for like 30 seconds. The people who have an issue with, generally white people have an issue with this because white people
don't
is
wanna admit
like the one racial identity that like they think like, oh, it's cringe to care about race. Like, no, you care about race too, and like whenever they go in like every time they talk about black communities, they talk about what about Chicago or Detroit or Compton, and they're like, and they don't feel safe. Well, like you wouldn't feel safe in a room full of niggas. That's just the reality of it. You don't know anything about them, but you do have these biases that lead you like, oh, like I'm not super comfortable here, and I'll hang out now, but I wouldn't want to do this again. And I feel like that's a lot of white people's experiences, but like that leads to those same biases. And I know they don't. It's not like something you actively choose, but like it's something we all believe deep down. The only thing is black people are allowed to say it out loud, and white people feel like they can't.
I understand that, like, from that perspective of like relatability, which someone mentioned earlier. I forgot who, but I do understand why people vote based on those things, because it does feel more comfortable. You can relate to someone who looks like you more than you can relate to someone who doesn't. So I understand. I still don't think it's fair, but I understand.
I'm sure Destiny and Vaj, and I like these dudes, but I'm sure if they were on this panel, they would be like, dude, you care about like voting for somebody just what they look like, it's so cringe.
Oh, I think not Destiny.
Destiny would say that. Destiny would absolutely say that, and I like Destiny. Destiny wouldn't say that picking people based off identity is cringe.
Destiny understands reality. He's not gonna be like Vosh and just
no. He is literally Destiny would say the opposite of that. I can guarantee you, he would say the opposite of that. And he would say,
of course, race matters. We can see how people vote along racial lines. He probably link you to something.
I like Destiny. I don't think
JSU got it down perfectly. D10 Dream. You want to ask a question?
Destiny Simps. Now it all makes sense. Okay, continue.
D10 Dream. Oh boy.
Read my mind.
I just want to ask Riri.
I thought you said you weren't talking to me anymore.
Yeah, let Dream ask.
Now you're gonna be passive aggressive and cry.
Pick
one.
Dream.
Am I crying? I think.
You
tagging me in chat.
Pull it
Let's
back.
go.
Pull it back.
It's okay to be emotional. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
It's okay.
Do I have to mute?
I'm here with you.
Knock it off. Dream.
I'm gonna block you.
Like I said, I want to ask Riri a question because I haven't heard your answer from the prompt. Because the prompt asks, when candidates are the same, similar positions, and assuming that they have the same history, would you vote for the black candidate because they're black?
Wait, first platform history. Oh, would I choose if both of them were bad? Would I choose the black person?
Let's say both of them are good. Would you choose
if both of them were good? Yeah.
Tell the truth. All right, there we go.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So race does matter to a certain degree, just not in like
not your top priority.
Yeah.
Why? No. Why would you choose a black person?
Because of what I said earlier, where I understand relatability. I think that a black person is going to understand my plight better than a white person.
So
I just wanted you to restate it for the YouTube.
So you would understand why people might vote for Obama.
Yeah, and I said that. I said that I would understand if people, but the question wasn't do I understand, it was do I think it's fair? And ultimately I would want people to prioritize voting based on something else.
Is voting fair? Is the voting process fair?
What does that mean?
It's not.
Because you brought it, because you brought it up multiple times, and I'm
I'm literally restating the prompt. That's not my words. The fairness is in the prompt.
Is voting fair? Like, what does that mean?
No, that was in the prompt. I must have missed that part. Okay.
My bad. in the Discord prompt.
Oh, I'm not in that one. So
that's
my fault.
Yeah, you tried to sneak in here. Cause strife.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
I literally came in here and I literally said to Prime, "This is gonna be a chill. It feels like a chill panel. I'll hop back on." And lo and behold, so once I say something, nah, you can't speak. Nah, you calling your some crazy stuff.
Okay.
But yeah.
Assume by fair, the prompt is referencing like.
Do we have to go through this again? Did you or did you not?
Thank you for engaging, Ben.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think in terms of fair, I assume that the prompt is referencing like. Someone who is going like all out it poll, like like I am a woman, I am black, and I'm going to serve the black. Like I love Biden.
Kamala Harris?
No, not like
yeah. Isn't that exactly what Kamala Harris is?
No, she
That's
didn't.
literally Kamala Harris, bro.
Oh man,
what's
the AKAs like vote for me? I'm black.
No,
that's literally Kamala Harris.
That's not what she did. All she did was put out one of the single greatest platforms in American history. But
and lied.
But like
Talking about the platform of
like
locking up
shoes.
black men.
no, I like Biden a lot, but like everybody universally agreed that like if you ain't vote, if you ain't black, whoever like put that in his note to something to say, like that was not the right move. Like that's pandering. That's
I thought that shit was hilarious.
yeah.
So you only so Bam. So we know that Bam only thinks something is pandering when the pandering is smacking him right upside the head. It's the only
No,
time
he only thinks it's pandering when it's a white man doing it.
Oh,
So.
okay.
Listen, Kamala got the Indian vote too.
Say her name right, bro.
Shit.
Kamala.
Kamala.
I'm sick. She says Kamala. She says Kamala. She says Kamala. She understood that multiple people or a lot of people say her name differently, especially if you have an accent. Please don't correct me if I'm not as outright. I'm not saying Kamala.
No, her name is no. I'm not. I wouldn't come
calling her
in here
caramel.
Tomato.
I'm not calling her caramel. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm saying
Come
that
on now.
like I'm saying that she's the only name we can't say. Like they even got that junk wrong at the inauguration, and that junk was disgusting, and she had to like call it out in real time. Like she said, her name is Kamala. And it wasn't about you. It's just everybody says Kamala, and that junk pisses me off because she is queen.
But why should we
I hear
even
you.
pronounce her name right?
Damn.
Why should we pronounce her name right? Like we pronounced the other 44 vice presidents. Or
Well,
45?
Barack.
That's
had
a
a little trouble.
stupid question. Like,
Yeah,
of course, pronounce people's names right. Come
Yeah,
on.
pronouncing names right, but
Wait,
you know,
Wait,
She-
only
she
an
is
idiot didn't
accepted.
understand that was a joke.
You're
Jesus
not funny,
Christ.
so I didn't understand.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, it was a bad joke.
So
yes.
stupid.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
But
dumb joke.
We love.
What?
It's
Now,
nothing
Kith.
but love here.
But I'm
Okay.
glad we brought that up. I just wanted to put that into place that like just because that's why I said voting for people just because you have like similar backgrounds, similar values, those are power plays. It's not about being fair at that point. These are just you're just taking advantage of the situation just to move yourself forward, especially if you're at a disadvantage. So it's not about being fair. It's about just getting the job done.
Yeah.
So vote based off merit unless you're white, because then you should vote black. Gotcha.
No, white people, if you want to vote white, go ahead and vote white.
No, it's not allowed. Not anymore. We've
Yeah.
seen how that goes.
Yeah, I don't like how y'all. I don't like how
Azzy, are
y'all.
you okay?
I mean, if
What do you mean,
it's
okay?
Wait,
You think that's okay for white people to just vote on white people?
Yeah,
Are you
what the
serious
fuck?
right now?
Do they
Wait.
not do that? Are we
It's
Crazy.
not about what
they.
they do. It's about what they should do, brother.
Right.
We
come on.
vote black just because black.
so then there is no
Oh
a
my
Barack
gosh,
Obama
bro.
then, right? Barack Obama doesn't become elected president if that's what we're saying. That's just cool, right? Barack Obama
because
You
there's
got
still gonna
95%
be-
of the black
Wait,
vote.
Azzy, are you really saying it's
which
cool?
ain't enough to
Oh my
put you in
goodness.
office.
Wait. Hold on,
All
wait,
right, yo,
wait.
so y'all
Azzy,
calling
are
me
you
into
wait,
question?
Azzy, I want to see if you finna clean this up. Are you being descriptive or prescriptive? Do you think people should do that, or are you just saying that's what happens?
I'm saying that's what happens, and go ahead and do it. And especially if you,
Okay.
especially, I'll be both. I'm gonna be a
Yeah,
super
you're gonna be
Chad. I'm gonna be a
right in the
Giga
middle, yeah.
Chad. I'm gonna be a
Ooh.
Giga Chad. I'm gonna be both. All right.
Okay.
I'm stealing that from Kyo-san. He said
Double
he told me
down.
that once. I'm a double down, and it was already clean from the get go.
I
Like,
understood.
people
That's
do
why
it anyway. People do it anyway. A lot of people have good reason. Hey, they're Irish. I'm Irish. I'm gonna vote Irish. They're.
But you think people should do that? Like that's a good way to operate in society.
It's a good way if it's beneficial to them.
Nah.
This is a multicultural. This isn't some mono majority black society.
Maybe
This
it
is a
should be. Have we ever thought about
This
that?
is a multicultural society.
imagined
whatever
that? Is it-
pushes forward, whatever is
Imagine-
good for
Azzy,
their
but
culture.
should they? But
I'm
should
just
they?
trying to answer
Have
the
you
question.
ever
Should
imagined?
white
I mean,
people
Just trying to
just
answer the
vote?
question.
Should white people, Ozzy? What we're asking is, should
Trying to answer the
you
question.
think
I
should?
think I'm in the process. I'm answering the
He-
question
yeah,
you're
yeah,
asking.
he's answering it.
All right. All right.
You're saying yes
But like,
or no?
okay, so then
Oh,
is it
y'all not.
is it okay? So some of you guys said that like basically using black as a stand-in for like values, right? Is it fair for white people? I'm just picking on white people. I mean, there are other people in this country, right? But is it fair for white people to think that a black candidate won't have their best interests in heart? Right? A lot of Republicans felt the same way, right? A lot of
I
people.
think.
Depends what kind of white person you are.
Hold on, wait. I want to call out why I think I take issue with what you're saying.
Okay.
Because you're not taking the situation and making the same positive claim. You're taking the situation and making a negative claim. So it's different between us saying, hey, I think a black person would be pro-black, and saying, I think a white person would be anti-black. And that's what you're doing. And those things aren't equivalent.
Who's
So if
doing
you're
that?
going to say, if Prime in his question, if you're going to say, would white people think that other white people would have their best interests at heart, that would be the same thread of logic of black people thinking black people have their best interests at heart. But when you flip the switch and you say, well, is it okay if white people think black people don't have their best interests at heart? That's where you like assign a negative, and it's different.
Okay,
and I think
then
that's
let me go from the other way. Let me go
can
from the other way around. Would
you-
you think it's okay for black people to look at white people and think they don't have the black people's interests
for
in heart?
sure. No, I don't think that we should default or think that. No,
White people.
I think that we should. No,
Sorry. No. Go ahead and finish. What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Can you
yeah, I
repeat
don't
what you
like-
said, please, if you don't mind?
Oh.
Sorry.
Do you think?
Go ahead, Gambit.
no, I don't like
Buddy.
assigning negative values without trying to validate them.
But you can do it to positive
try not
values.
to.
You can
You
do
said
it.
what?
But you can do so with positive values.
I think it's generally less dangerous to do it with positive value.
Okay.
I still think it's
What
wrong,
about-
to be clear. I still think it's something that I don't know how we get out of in-group bias, but I recognize what it is. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing, but I think it's far better than the opposite of assuming a negative.
So, but there
say
is a
that's
danger
like-
in doing that. There's a danger in doing that. Like, for instance, like assuming competence, right? Which is what white people do all the time with other white people.
For
They
sure,
assume
yeah.
competence.
For sure.
And it allows, like, for the worst, it allows like the whole Theranos situation to happen, right? We have this white woman
Yes.
who says that like she's got this technology, and then she gets all these people to invest in her company, and they don't actually check her out. When if she was a black woman doing the same thing, they're like, I need to see that paperwork. I need to
For
see
sure.
other scientists, white scientists, to back up this shit, right? That's exactly what happened. Or Donald Trump, right? People like white, a section of white people assuming competence and being very wrong about that, right? So,
But that's why I said that it's negative even in the positive case. I just think I think assuming a negative is far different than assuming a positive.
Okay.
And I don't know how to elucidate that more, but I think that there are different things at play.
I
for
hear
sure.
what you're saying.
But I think both of them we shouldn't do. But I think to simplify our world, we do that.
Eli.
I would say the way in which we get rid of in-group bias. There was a professor who told me this one thing that stuck with me forever, and that is exposure eliminates bias. So being exposed to different people, being exposed to different walks of life. I think to GSU Gambit's a question of like, or point of, I don't know how we get rid of in-group bias. I think that it would just be through exposure and from listening to other people. My problem when it comes down to like, because I don't think necessarily that there are quite a few white people who do have black people's best interests at heart, because in many cases a lot of white people, not all, but there are quite a few white people, especially within our government, who don't listen to the struggles and plights of the black community. And who, like, think about it. How long did it take us to get an anti-lynching bill passed? How long does it take us to get really any sort of, meaningful legislation that could, help or protect the black community? How long has it taken? How long did it take for us to get a Supreme Court justice who is black, or a black woman? How long did that take? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems as though, especially in our government, they don't listen to us.
We talk about the last thing we talked about the other week was about the Tennessee town Mason getting attention because of the super factory being built there. An example of where a small part of a county was left neglected for a lot of time because it was pretty much a sinkhole. It didn't have much money. There was years of corruption in it, and then all of a sudden, once money started to be potentially flowing into the town, or I guess actually flowing into the town, there all of a sudden wanted to be a oversight council of the town, or just straight up removing the charter of the town to sort of absorb it. The town is historically black. and the people in charge of the town or the county above it is controlled by a white senator. Same shit that we've seen over and over again. I don't know if that's like a problem. In certain areas, is obviously less of a problem, but I think it would be safe to assume that, you know, average black person cares more about black people than an average white person cares more about black people.
And then also to add on top of that,
Maybe,
you know,
but that delineation
like
might be very rare, like very small, maybe 1 to
There's like-
2%.
there's like that, and I know some people might not like what I'm about to say, but there's also like that lived experience, right, of like living as a black person in America. That I'm sorry, some white people in chat might dislike what I'm about to say. A lot of, you know, white people don't know what it's like, and I don't even want to just say black people, people of color in general. Like a lot of white people don't know what it's like to live in America as a person of color. Yeah.
I would say that lived experience isn't doesn't make you have decent politics, because I would say a majority of black people have poor politics, if we're being completely honest. But if, like I said, in cases of things being close, again, I don't like using exact because, like we said, people probably aren't exact. But in cases of people being close, lived experience always helps. It never hurts the situation to have have skin in the game.
What about? So we've been talking about race, and that's because I framed the question that way. But what about class and gender? Right?
Yeah, I literally just put in chat that I think, in terms of all the isms, I think classism is way more important in determining what candidate you're going to vote for. And I do think people do that when they're considering between like Republican and Democrat, which I don't ascribe to either political party, but I know the basis of that is the class of whatever class they fall into. A lot of them will vote based on who they think it has their best interests. Not with Trump, though. They decided to forgo that. But I think in terms of like the Republican Party, a lot of black people see that as like, oh, that's upper middle class. That's not us, you know, because a lot of them are voting for what they feel is the everyman in the Democratic Party.
So, Riri, do you believe that, because you just said that, so do you think that like class solidarity is like a value you look for in the candidate? Like a poor candidate is a better candidate generally?
No, I wouldn't say a poor candidate, but I would say it's hard. It's, again, goes back to relatability, right? Are they going to have my best interests if they were born with a silver spoon? Probably not. Probably not. And a lot of their empathy and compassion, even with race, unfortunately, is based on how they can relate to those problems and those issues.
Okay.
And like,
you good?
Oh, maybe. So I don't know if I heard. I'm gonna say it. I think something that happened with Ketanji Brown Jackson in her hearing, right, about like the whole relatability thing, is how, like, you know, and also classism too, right? Being able to work to get success, you know, experience the American dream and everything. It's like, who was it? Cory Booker, who said, "I can't help but look at you and see my mom." Like, and like, you know, don't let what people are saying take away the fact that you have like these credentials and what have you. Like, even though he's an establishment Democrat, he related to her from a race issue, and probably even from a race standpoint, probably even a class standpoint, right? And sorry, a race issue, and also a class standpoint as well. And was somebody gonna say something?
No, you just had a hiccup. I just said the word.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot where else I was going.
Not
Again,
every time.
My ADHD, it happens all the
Don't
fucking
blame
time.
ADHD. I got ADHD. I don't forget my points.
Everybody's ADHD is different, brother.
Kindly, Cassie,
Come on, brother. Everybody's ADHD.
go fuck yourself. All right, just take yourself and Tootsie Roll. Go fuck yourself. Sorry, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back.
Okay.
Oh, the classism thing, right? So when we saw Ketanji Brown Jackson's hearing, right, and how she was heckled and how people brought up bullshit that like didn't mean anything with like her being a fucking judge or and what have you. This is a person who has again, a black person, a black woman who has more credentials than like half of the Supreme Court justices that are serving on Supreme Court right now. And they're still Republicans looked at her and said, nah. They even like Lindsey Graham even acknowledged her, right? Like acknowledged where she came from, acknowledged like all of the credentials that she had, and said, nah. And it's stuff like this. That's why it's like we really can't trust rich older white people. And if someone like Ketanji Brown Jackson,
I can trust Bernie.
Get it? Bernie's different. if Ketanji Brown Jackson can't get it,
this is wild.
If Ketanji Brown Jackson can't get it unabated and can't get it unobstructed, then really it makes a lot of other black people look at this situation and go,
wait, this is wild. What do you think the worst thing they asked her about? They asked her specifically about a lot of shit related to child pornography and how she
asked her about like racist babies in a book or some shit. Asked her about fucking CRT. Asked her a shit ton of stuff where she's like, no, but I'm a judge.
No, wait.
What does this have to do with being a judge? Like, it was weird.
They asked. I think I watched some of the things that they asked her about, and I didn't take problem with almost any of it. Like
really,
the stuff that I saw. I don't know what you saw. I haven't watched everything. Right. The stuff that I saw, they were asking her about her. Like it seems to be, like she always gives far less time for people that deal with child pornography and stuff. And I thought all of that stuff was fair. But I saw like 6 different videos of that. So I like when people say, I was going to ask you, when people say, oh, they were like doing her really bad. What exactly was the topic? Because the stuff that I watched, I was like, "Hey, this is interesting."
So you did. I'm not trying to like get you in a gotcha or anything, but like, did you not see the videos where they were like, I think it was Ted Cruz was asking her about a book about like racist babies?
Oh, Teddy.
No,
you didn't see that one. Okay.
No. There's a lot of footage, and I think you're both referencing things that.
Yeah, they did happen. Like both of those things.
Yeah, and
it's right. Like.
Yeah, the things that they were addressing about her sentencing of child pornography visuals and stuff like that, images and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently didn't seem out of line. Maybe we should be questioning the system as a whole as to how they're sentencing, because it didn't seem that out of line with other judges. Okay. So I don't see why that's a particular problem of this person in that regard.
Wait, in 100% of cases, she gave less time than I think the statute and what the
100?
prosecution was 100%. When she had the ability to, I'm sorry, Brian, we are going pretty deep off. Yeah, let's get
I'm not prepared to argue this. I'm not sure if everyone here is prepared to do that. For Ketanji Brown, but
can I say something related to the topic about it, not like the specific stuff?
Okay, cool.
No. Before we get away from it, like, bring it to the class issue. I like her. I think she's gonna be good at the job. But like, as far as dealing with like the class solidarity, her experience probably isn't close to that. I mean, she is. Her experience probably isn't close to that average like black experience. Like, both their parents were college graduates. Her father was like a big time attorney. She went to Harvard University. I don't think, and obviously she wasn't in an elected position, but like, I don't think she had like a class interest with the average black person or the average American in general.
Should we be putting weight? I don't know enough about her, like her early life, so I can't say. But like, should we be putting weight on this idea of the average black experience, right? Because we've talked about this before. We've talked about what that actually means, right? And like, what you think that means, the average black experience might be different from what I'm thinking, right?
I think it'll be single mom in a crack house. Like, I don't think we have to go to that extreme.
I didn't say that.
I'm saying there are like a lot of people
speaking towards the majority, right? The middle class, right?
Yeah, I don't think she was middle class. I think she was probably at worst.
Right? That's
Well,
weird. To
well, we're dealing with
Or-
we were dealing with the concept of class solidarity. That was what Riri brought up. So that's what I was like pointing to. Like, I think she's good. I think she's gonna be excellent at her job, but I don't think that she grew up. She came from what's the working class. You,
I
yeah,
think
I wouldn't
what
care
I
about
think
a black person's class. I would care more about who are they trying to help and what policies are they
True.
setting forth to try and do that.
So do you
I
think
care
that
less
do you,
about
so
their
do you,
current class.
do you think okay, and I just want to ask this and then you guys can jump on. Do you think that class or race, when it comes to black people, race matters more than class then? Because like and maybe white people it's different. Because race is such maybe plays such a preeminent part in our society, and that like for instance, even if you are a upper class individual, right? If a cop sees a black man in an expensive car, you're gonna pull him over, right? So like, do you think in that case we can switch these things, right?
If I'm looking at two candidates, I don't think that class ever matters. So only because of that, I have to say race matters more. But I don't think of a time when I'm like, let me go look at how this person grew up or caring about. I mean, if they're gonna be a preeminent candidate, they're gonna have some level of success. They're not gonna be the lowest class if they running for president, most likely, right? If they running for president, have a platform and people that support them, most likely they're gonna be middle or upper middle class or rich. So I don't think class almost ever matters to me.
it was an issue
when it
for
comes
me
to
for
that,
Trump.
actually, oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I was spoken of.
If you guys don't mind. So I do want to touch up on that like class thing. So I've seen like a trend with like black people in particular, where all of a sudden, and I want to speak about black men for a second. All right, you give a black man $2 and a white woman, and all of a sudden you can't tell him shit. All right, all of a sudden the oppression is just out the fucking window. Like all of a sudden, it's just all of a sudden the whole bootstrap myth and model minority myth, all that stuff just like comes to the surface, right? So like. I think in a way, class. I think in a way, class does matter because, like, take someone like Candace Owens, for instance, a person who is most likely of a pretty high class, right? Who says, who is so defaultly anti-black, like you might as well just. I'm not gonna finish that, but so like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, in a way, there are a lot of black people who, because of class, all of a sudden they think that the oppression of black people, that especially poorer black people, is just not existent, and that the rest of us are just lazy. So I do think the class does. I do think the class does matter.
Eli, ain't you the only nigga in the chat right in the conversation right now that's never been with only white women? Like, what was that?
Right.
Like, you give a black man $2 and a white woman. Ain't you the only one that's only been with white women here?
It's almost as if I used to be anti-black.
Wow, that's a.
You're speaking from experience.
I mean, I used to be a
Wait, no, but this is no. This is crazy.
You go out of it when you go.
A large portion of black people believe in trying to bootstrap yourself, but it doesn't mean they're ignorant of the reality socially that we exist.
Right, but like the reason why I said bootstrap because like the whole point of the bootstrap myth or the bootstrap mentality is it's a joke really about how stupid it is. Like you can't you can't
physically pull yourself up from your own boots.
Yeah, you can't physically pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. I get the sentiment behind it is just work hard, but say that instead. Just say like, oh, you should just work hard and apply yourself.
Oh, you have
which also
bootstrapper mentality is really silly because there are a lot of the reason I say class is important is exactly because of that mentality, because there are people who have come from money who don't understand all the barriers that come with not coming from money, not being able to like get to the next level because there are a lot of blockages towards that.
Sometimes
there's also people.
You have the case of a really, really poor person that came from the mud for real and then made it and is like, I made it, so why can't y'all?
Yeah, and that's a lot of people.
Happens as well.
I think
that happens as well.
I think a lot of people might make it and say that there are ways that we can make it, and there are better ways that we can try to make it, given the situation that we're. It's like the most popular meme in the black culture is like, play the hand that you're dealt, right? And a lot of people, like, that's the same as the Bootstraps argument, right? Like, try to make the best of your life given the terrible hand that you are dealt. At least don't be negative on your own self, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, like, a lot of black people say that. Like, I would say the majority. Like,
but at Prime,
Right.
I mean, I'm not Prime, but Gambit. That's an individual. Like, that's something you tell an individual. I can tell an individual things they can do to put their individual life in the best position. Pull up your hands, do all blah blah blah. But that's not a good systemic critique. And some people use it as a systemic critique. They're like, how do we fix the system? Oh, black people need to work harder. They're like those
do you think
two
the
things are separate.
majority of people think that really have success?
Yes, people.
A lot of people, yes.
No,
Yeah,
not everybody.
Majority.
People are just like, some people overuse it, but we're just like, the reason why we're overusing systemic racism, like in like all of these conversations, is because a word we just discovered in the last decade, really. Like, and I'm saying us as in like the general population. Like before, everyone thought that like the average person thought that like, oh, okay, you just have to like, we're gonna be able to work hard and get everybody up, pull out the whole community, the whole block coming up from working hard. And now we realize that's probably not reality. Some people make it out. It's mostly due to luck, that doesn't negate the things that they do, but like there's a lot of people that's also going to work hard that aren't going to make it. So like it has to be a bigger critique of the system. That doesn't mean the individual shouldn't try.
I don't think a lot of people's systemic answer to black people's problems are just work harder. I don't.
What do you think the
that
entire
exists.
Republican Party exists for?
No, you were talking about you were talking about rich black people or middle class black people. I don't.
And
see
I
that
mentioned
sentiment.
Candace Owens, who's a Republican.
Yeah, you mentioned one person, but I'm talking about the majority, right? Of course.
Oh, are you talking about like wealthy black people?
Yeah, I don't think that's the common sentiment with wealthy black people.
I mean, I think maybe they're becoming more aware, but I think that I think there's a large community of of wealthy and upper black people that feel like I earned everything I got. Like they're not really realizing that there is some level
a large portion of the wealthy black people are first generation wealthy, so they understand what life was like before they were wealthy, and they understand the systemic barriers that they had to overcome. I think
they overcame them. That's the thing. I don't think like that. Just
have
because
they not though?
No, I think that there is a level of luck. There's a timing and place. And
Obviously,
it could have been anybody, and you happen to be there. That doesn't negate. That doesn't mean that you don't work hard. But I'm saying that if 50 people can work just as hard as you, and 2 of them could,
but it's not always hard though. Sometimes it's like smartness. Like you can work just as hard as me, but you may not be as smart as me. You can't say people are just equally as smart as each other.
A lot of rich black people are rich off of the fact that they are athletes and rappers. They're
It's not about smart.
You have to be smart to be a rapper. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm not alluding to them being stupid. I'm alluding to the fact that there are blockages regardless. Like we still see problems in getting black people with wealth, but a certain type of wealth. You feel me? Like even those people that are very rich are rich for a specific reason and had a similar path.
And
we talk about Mamba mentality, like, oh, Kobe's a great basketball player because he worked hard. He's also 6'6". Well, he's also 6'6". Like that was something that like that.
But there's a lot of 6'6" people that didn't become Kobe Bryant.
Like
Kobe was 6'6".
Oh
shit!
But like also there is I think another point to what Riri was saying is that like black people tend to be overrepresented in certain like fields, right? We tend to be overrepresented in certain fields, and that mainly has to deal with like accessibility to things. Like for instance, I like to compare sports like basketball, football that tend to have over a lot of black representation in them. I like to compare that to things like auto racing, right? So like when we take something like NASCAR, right? We have Bubba Wallace in NASCAR, but then we have all kinds of black people in basketball, football, and what have you. Why? Because there's systemic barriers, such as in order to become an auto racer, that costs a lot of money in order to get into that.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, and like it's not accessible. It's not like you can just go to your local high school and here's auto racing tryouts. There's basketball tryouts. There's football tryouts. Black people can it's easier for black people to get into these things. And then when we get into them, we work really hard. Because in many cases we think a lot of us think this is my only ticket out of the ghetto. This is my only ticket out of being poor.
I
Yeah,
think
I don't think
And as a
anybody
result, we're
disagrees with this.
overrepresented in those fields.
And I also think there's another component that we missed too. It's also unlikely that you're going to be the one, so people with means are less likely to try and take that challenge. So it's all of those things playing together at the same time. Like imagine if somebody's wealthy and that kid is like, "Yo, I'm gonna be Michael Jordan," they're gonna sit them down and be like, "All right, hold on, all right, no, you don't do stupid shit like that. Like that's crazy. You're not gonna be Michael Jordan. You're not gonna be the one of the 450 people in the NBA." And in a situation where you're not from that situation, it's more likely that people embrace it and tell you because people need you to be the one. Like they need you to be the one. So they're like, "Yeah, go
you're
ahead,
not
go
gonna
do it."
be you're not gonna be as hungry as a poor person when you're an athlete. When you're a super rich person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Unless you're a
absolutely.
legacy.
100%. You see that with boxers all the time.
yeah.
How about
Like
Floyd
a
was
lot
way
of
richer
the
than
athletes in
more
general
than
are
that.
preyed upon, like good athletes, because they know those people will work very hard and they will exploit them.
Yeah, and that's
there's a reason why it's a lot of black athletes. You know,
Right.
they come from impoverished places and they know they can exploit these people because they
They
know
gonna
they will
sign the
work
first
really hard.
contract.
Like, who signs the paychecks? Who owns the teams? It ain't us a lot of the time.
Yep.
This goes back to
Right.
another conversation we had. But it's also because there's very few jobs that you can make like 10 million a year. Like show me that college degree. Like that doesn't mean
Software
there's some,
engineer.
that doesn't mean that there's some people in those fields that don't. But showing that everyone, like a large portion of the people in this
But
field,
even
like
to
is making
get
10
that, you
million a
need
year.
to go to like MIT, which like a lot of black people who are in that
No.
predicament of being impoverished can't afford to go to.
I
No,
think
you
I
can
think
go
there's
to-
like a bell
Scholarship.
curve, right? I think like the richest black people are entertainers, but like most rich black people are not entertainers. They're like professionals, lawyers, doctors.
Well, it
stuff like
means
that.
your threshold for rich. I was about to say, is that in the hundreds of thousands or millions?
At
'Cause
least
I would assume
say
most
like
black
500,000.
millionaires are in entertainment, just because of the size
Nah,
of the sports
I
league.
disagree.
Probably not.
Most
bro.
no,
It
most black
seems that way, but probably not.
professionals.
Well, I mean, they'll be
professionals
the
for
only
sure.
ones we'll be talking about, like the rich and famous, right? Rather than the rich, we wouldn't
Like
know them.
you'd have to think about
Yeah.
like managers and they get money too, and they're not necessarily
I mean,
entertainers.
this could be a moment of like where the media affects us, right? Like we like to think
Our
that the
perception,
media, doesn't affect our perceptions, but it could be
Yeah.
the case. And I literally don't know.
does.
I
It
don't know
can.
the demographics of the upper black class, right? I don't know, but it could be the case that it's simply because we see that, right? We see when we see people who are ultra successful in the black community, it's because they're in that narrow band of professions. But it could be the case there's a larger group who is not, and we just don't see them.
And that's what's normalized. So it's like sociologically reinforced that if you want to get rich, go into entertainment when it's just not true. Like the easiest way to get rich is to go into software engineering. Without
Maybe it
question.
worked for
Like,
me.
it's
Maybe
not
I'm about to
easy.
say maybe the conditioning worked on me because I legitimately believe it. I believe that, and not all, but I believe that some majority percent of black millionaires are in some field of like entertainment, whether that be like music, sports, comedy, like acting. Like I absolutely believe that. That doesn't mean that there's not black people who are just in real estate or just in like.
for
Oh
sure.
yeah,
But-
I definitely wasn't saying that, but like I think we all know the majority is in entertainment. Like
I
No,
just wanna
that's
be-
what
I would
we're
want to
arguing
see
on.
that.
I just
I
want to
think it
see a
is.
black millionaire, and maybe this actually does exist, but I just want to see a black millionaire with a weed company. You know what I mean? Like you see a millionaire white person with a weed company. But
It
when was
was
the
really
last
new.
time you saw like
there's a reason,
Right.
but they kept
No,
that
they-
from
they exist.
happening. They kept that from
Yeah.
happening until white people started like making money off of it. So
Yup.
again, it just goes back to
Yup.
systematic racism, and it's like
Yup.
if you don't
Actually-
come from that, if
and
you
it-
don't understand that is more important to me because it's obvious that it will dictate what you do in your moves that you make in your political platform.
I think at least in New York, they're making it so that the people who get like licenses or stuff like get weed are people who have either been like related to people who've been locked up due to possession or something like that, or they've been locked up, like something like that. Like they give priority to
Yeah.
those people first. That's pretty neat.
fucking based?
And don't even get me started about stack charges
About
for
what?
marijuana.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. So, we've drifted quite a bit with this, which is fine, because I think we've been in interesting places. But um, I think I guess I am not okay with like the larger implications of saying that we should vote for a person because of their color. Um, going back to the Hillary Clinton and Obama situation, right? Like, that was a moment in time, and I remember following that, right? That it seemed to me that Hillary Clinton, and Obama, they were neck and neck, honestly, with their views. If you remember that,
Whoa, no.
hold on, no, hold on, give me a second. Give me a second, right? Thank you for the 100 bits. If you remember their debates, right? They were struggling to find daylight between themselves. And so, like, one big part of their debates was on healthcare and how healthcare should be like what will become the Affordable Care Act, right? Like what would that what are the contours of it? But like they argued on such a like a super narrow point. I can't remember what the point was. I wish I could remember, right? I think it was on compensation, like doctor compensation or some shit like that. But it was like super narrow, and they just went at each other on this one point because they otherwise they've been aligned. Maybe someone in chat might remember what it was. But what's funny in which way was that when Obama got elected, he ended up taking Hillary's position, even though he was saying like, "Oh, that was fucking ridiculous." He actually ended up following her plan. And I think that the difference that people thought that was between them was actually imaginary. I think Obama wanted people to think that he was more progressive than Hillary Clinton. He absolutely wasn't. He proved that he wasn't. But I've strayed. I'm sorry. But the larger point is that I get that why people would have voted that way, but it seemed like if the situation is reversed, we would be outraged, right? And or at the very least understand that the implications are disastrous for Black political power. If it can be true that we vote on race and that's a fine thing, then it should be true that the other people can vote on race. And if that's the case, then we will mostly get shut out of the political
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I said white people have to vote black. They can't, like, that has to be the slogan. Black people vote black or whatever they want, and then white people
Jamali's
vote black.
like no fairness at all.
I don't
believe
think
in that shit.
Done with fairness. It's been how many years since the end of slavery, quote unquote? Fuck that shit. Let's know. We want the overwhelming majority of power in the political sphere so we can shape the country in the way that we fucking want it.
Yeah, I don't think we can shut up.
I feel like this is going to be clipped and used in some conservative, obscure website that you're never going to know about. Oh my God.
I can only hope.
This is what they want.
I don't think we get shut out because I still feel like there's still overwhelmingly exceptional candidates who are Black that white people will vote for, or at least follow. So
like Obama.
Not like Obama.
Yeah, it's not a definite shutout.
Yeah, we did a lot of people. I used to rag on white people all the time, even Black people. I'm like, why are you voting for Obama? Nah, he's Black. I'm like, but that's dumb. And I used to say that to people all the time. And I went out my way to look up his politics. I can't remember any of it, but I just looked it up for the sake of people, just asking people, why are you voting for Obama? And I just found it weird because I knew a lot of white people who said, I'm voting for him because he's Black. I knew a lot of white people, especially in college. You know,
allies,
but even more than like, not even just his politics and not even just him being Black. Like something we don't recognize because we experienced it in real time and we only know what we lived through. Barack Obama is probably in the top 5, maybe top 2 or 3 most like eloquent presidents we've ever had.
Most
Like
educated, most
like
eloquent.
the
Well,
level, like the if you listen to Barack Obama speak, it's like insane compared to like any other president. Like that's something, if he wasn't a president, he would be a legendary public speaker. Like
You think
I think
the
one thing
twang
that
Can I ask a
y'all
when
question?
he
Can I ask
you
a
think
question?
when
hold on.
After
I
asking,
think one thing that y'all ignoring, and this is prime. This is what I took a little issue with when you were like Hillary and Barack were the same. They're not even close. Hillary has a track record of being against the black community, and a lot of black people are smart enough to understand that, and that's why she also lost in 2016. Like she's
We're not
terrible
smart enough
for
with
black.
Kamala.
Uh,
Well, I don't know why people voted for Kamala. It was
and
stupid, but
and
y'all need to leave Bam alone.
well, first of all, who did
didn't vote for
who did
Kamala.
Obama choose for his vice president? Biden. Other person has been terrible for black people, right? A history of that, right?
yeah,
Like
but at least, but
Yeah,
a
but
why
history,
did
a
you do
history
that,
that
though?
mirrors
Why did you
Biden
do
Hillary
was
that,
also
Clinton.
though?
horrible for black
no,
people.
no, no. But hold
Nobody
on.
voted for that nigga.
The difference is there was a different option, right? They could vote for Obama to be president, or they could vote for Hillary to be president. They're like, I don't know this black guy, but I'm already happy that he's black, and this person has been the devil for black people. So obviously, people are gonna vote Hillary. And then, but he picked Joe Biden, yeah, to try to get
You
like
mean Obama?
establishment people.
You accidentally said Hillary.
No. I meant to say, yeah, he picked Joe Biden. I thought I said he picked Joe Biden, and it was like, well, we don't care because we got him for president.
because Joe Biden was known as the tough Democrat. Like
But also, like,
he was he is the establishment. You know, like
He is basically
he represents the
Hillary Clinton.
establishment.
Or
but like
He's
also
Hillary Clinton.
why? But like also why do you think he chose Biden to be his like vice
Get
president?
other
So-
white voters for sure.
yeah,
Right,
definitely. That was
exactly,
definitely-
and to get the Republicans on his side as well, because Biden's just sorry, Bam, but Biden is pretty much just another Republican. I'm sorry.
Well, I won't say that. He's just terrible for
Yeah,
black
he's
people.
just
Sorry
the
to
most
ban.
He's on the
progressive.
left.
He just
He's
has the
just
most
regular
progressive
Democrat.
platform in U.S. history.
I mean, like,
No,
well,
he's
he
just,
wasn't more
he's just
progressive
regular
than Bernie
Democrat.
Sanders,
Not
Yeah,
really good for black people.
yeah. Okay. So I guess it ends up being a different conversation there. But all right, thank you all for all of this. We're going to continue on to my audience. We're going to continue on with the open walk on panel. We're done here, but we're going to replace this great group of people with
No, we're
you.
staying.
Oh, okay,
We're not leaving.
well, please do.
We here.
We're
I
gonna replace this with you. So we're gonna go to open walk on panel right after this, right? Where you, yes, you sing home may participate. So stick around for that. We have more content coming your way. If you've just discovered this channel and been appreciating this content, hit that follow button. If you haven't done so before, hit that follow button. Make sure notifications are on. So you know I'm going live. I do this 7 nights a week, either here or on YouTube. So we always have more content for you. So follow the channel. Hit us up on social media. We have Twitter, where you'll get information about the channel, right? If you don't know what's going on with the channel, you're not on Twitter, right? So check out our Twitter. We also have Discord. Everything happens on Discord, including that open panel that's going to happen next. And then YouTube is where you'll find the VODs. If you missed anything, like, comment, subscribe, and YouTube. Also becoming a YouTube member, right? Hitting that join button and supporting us that way if you appreciate getting that content 7 days a week. All right, I'm going to give an outro to these people, but remember the content doesn't end. We'll start with Bam. Bam.
I don't know where I just was. I swear I just had a stroke. Like just in real time. I didn't know where I was for like 3 seconds. Yeah, no, super
Are you
fun
okay?
panel. I love AB. Yeah, he's all right. If I die, I die. Yeah, always love it. Always love all of the panels, especially good topic. Follow my Twitter. Bam Bigelow. It's pretty funny.
You gotta send me a link to your Twitter because like I own the announcement.
You made me follow the wrong person.
I know it was the wrong one. It was the wrong one.
I don't know who else.
Sent it.
Somebody copying me.
I was low key. I was like, this nigga has a clothing line and shit, and didn't tell us. I
Ain't
was low
Black
key
America.
upset.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly,
right?
it seems like it's on track for Bam.
I
honestly.
definitely hit up the wrong
Can I see
Twitter
it?
account. But yeah,
Oh
you
my
gotta
God,
like.
I was gonna buy something from that. I'm so mad.
I tried to look.
Oof.
I don't know. That was all right. Anyway,
What if I did have a clothing?
but
That'd be crazy.
I appreciate Bam, right? He's a good guy, right? And I like his voice. I like his accent, right? I just wish that he wouldn't use that voice for fucking evil, right? Like,
Southern
god damn
King.
it, it's it's the worst opinions. So, but it's silky smooth, but just like the worst things to use it for. Thank you, Pam, so much. Right. Next we got not Eli Monty. Thank you also for coming through and being part of this, Eli. All right. This was a lot today. And I'm glad you're here to experience it all with us. So Eli, tell the world about yourself.
Hi, I'm Nadi Laimonti. I'm a leftist. I stream basically Thursdays through Sundays at twitch.tv/NadiLaimonti. I'm real big on like women's rights and intersectional feminism. Always make sure that your feminism is intersectional, otherwise you don't have it. Yeah, I also do a lot of gaming. That's partially what I was doing here. That's probably why I said some stuff where I didn't hear some other people and what they said, because I was slightly distracted. Yeah, I'm a scatterbrain with ADHD and Gambit.
Okay. My man. Yes, you Gambit back with us again. GSU Gambit, like I already know how much I love having you around, right? We agree or disagree, it's always a good time. So thank you for coming through and yeah, sharing your perspective.
Yeah, I'm happy I could. So we finally figured it out, Prime. Bam is having strokes before he gives these takes. That's what's been going on. It all makes sense now. I forgive you, Bam, for everything you've ever said. But I know. No, I'm happy to be back, man. It's been a while. I don't have as much time as I used to. So on the weeks that I can make it, definitely I'm happy to make it. Sorry about the fiasco, but things
That's my bad.
are good now. So that was my bad on that. But no, I'm happy to be here, man. It's always dope to be on ABE. I don't know when I'll be able to make it back, but I'll be happy whenever that day comes.
I'll be
Appreciate
hitting
it.
you up with invites one way or the other, right? Next, we have Jamali. Jamali was here with us. Jamali, thank you seriously for stopping by, right? We don't get Jamali here as often, but still, we a great addition to the channel. So thank you, Jamali.
Always, when I'm not skirting the line on, what's acceptable things to say to people, or just saying things that we just shouldn't, or agreed to not say, I'm generally chill, playing League or doing political content, talking about certain two topics in the news, like Kataji Jackson Brown Jackson hearing and stuff like that. Oh my God. And that's pretty much what I do on Twitch and on YouTube. At YouTube, you can find me on Jamali GG, and then on Twitch, you can find me on Jamali Senpai. Thanks.
How much? Next.
I've been getting into Wild Rift myself.
It's actually really good. For no
Wild
reason.
Rift?
League of Legends Wild Rift?
Yeah,
I know.
It's actually a pretty decent phone game.
D1O Dream, back with us. Like, it's been like a month. So it was happy to have you here, and mixing up with everyone. Tell a little about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me, Prime. Always a pleasure. I love coming here and flexing my debate muscles, as you can see. Very flexed. Anyways, I'm very happy to be here. Very happy to talk to everybody here. It's just a good environment with Black people. We may be like rowdy at each other, but I feel like we all know that's just how we are around each other. There's no hard feelings, and that's what I like. Everybody.
Black spice.
Yeah, feel me. That's that cookout vibe. That's how I feel. But I like who I am as a person. Like, I'm 23 years old. Feel me? I work in government right now. That's why I haven't been able to make it sometimes, because I have all these like hearings that I have to go to check up on the community, give community updates, and listen to the constituents, so I can make informed decisions. And right now I'm in a transitional period. I'm about to be promoted to youth program manager for the Human Rights Commission. Thank you. So I'm very happy, and I'm working on a project to work with Black student unions to be the spearhead of the reparations movement in San Francisco.
Say that shit, damn it.
So I'm very, very, very excited.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I study philosophy in college, and this is what I love to do. I love to help people out and debate people with stupid ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we always love seeing Black people in the come up. So I can't wait till you get that actual promotion. All right. Next we have Azzy, who swore off my panels.
I
Azzy.
never did.
You definitely did. What you said.
I
definitely
said I
did.
definitely
Definitely
said
did.
give me some one-on-ones because
That's
I'll
not a
be able
panel.
to-
That's not a pattern, bro.
whatever.
Say, give me some one-on-ones. He said, check up.
Anyway, but Azzy, I like you a lot. That's why I send you invites. Anyway, that's why I send you invites in the first place. So thank you for stopping by and being part of this. Azzy, tell a little bit about yourself.
What's going on, guys? My name is Azzy Ohm. I'm always grounded in my opinions. That's why when GSU says, "Hey, clean it up," no, I don't need to clean it up because I was clean from the get-go. I do not have. I don't have the proclivity to be disrespectful. It's just when y'all go so ham, then it starts to get on me, and I start acting like y'all. So that's why I had to take
You
a
start
step
touching
back.
yourself.
You're soft.
There we go. There we go.
Period.
I'm telling y'all,
Azzy,
man. Y'all don't know the cook. Y'all leave the cookout, but the cookout never leaves y'all. See that? I could feel. I would feel y'all if I had.
What does that mean?
I had some hot dog. If I had a hot dog and a burger in my hand, and I was
First of
enjoying
all,
good food,
you wouldn't get
and-
roasted if people didn't like you at the cookout. So you know, it is
Facts.
what it is.
I know
You leave the people
I
you don't
know-
like alone. You're like, yeah, they over there. Like, we're not talking to them.
No. Because I know y'all love me. I know every time I show up. I saw the reactions when I came in. Fanatic dropped in his seat. GSU.
I was laughing because of Fanatics.
Yeah,
Fanatics reaction,
He was like, "Yo, this shit should not be happening."
Yeah, right? Like, why is this man just showing up on my space? Because he swore, he's like, Azzy, I will never be on a panel again with you. Don't be in my space. And I was like, all right, bro, whatever. And I just showed up. I'll be honest. And I'm derailing here. I don't like doing this, but I'll do it. I like Fanatic's content. I've been watching it. He's trying to be more civilized. He's trying to be more he's trying to have more productive content. But then he said he has, like, what is it called? Nigga Tuesdays? Good lord. And then all that just, that fell apart. So, all my
Nigga
hopes and
Tuesdays.
dreams. That's crazy.
Yeah, what's wrong with
bro.
Nigga Tuesdays, bro? You anti-black?
Tuesdays.
We have nigga Thursdays here.
You anti-black?
The fuck you think this is?
You anti-black, bro. Just say
Can't
it.
take these Negroes nowhere. I'm telling you. Don't
I
want
love
y'all
Azzy,
running for
man. I
no
love
type of
Azzy.
office, man. I don't want y'all running. I'm not voting for y'all. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Nah, you voted for me.
all the time.
Who you voting for? Who you voting for, Azzy? Who
Okay.
you voting for?
All right.
Put Corey in the house.
We got
So I'm gonna finish. All right. So that's what I'm talking about. As soon as I came in, the very thing I said to you, Prime, I said, "Yo, this is gonna be a chill. It's looking chill. I'm just gonna pop in. I'm not gonna say nothing.
When are debates ever chill in here? Like, let's be real.
But no, because over these Negroes over here apologizing to each other. Oh no, bro, you go ahead. Yo, man,
What?
no, you go ahead. You good? I'm watching Bam and Monty and Senpai just being all nice to each other. I'm like, what? Y'all can't do this. Y'all just can't be respectful. It's not in y'all, bro. So that's what I said to him, right? As soon as I get on, the first thing I say, oh no, this Negro talking, bro. We gotta cut him off ASAP, bro. Your great grandma ugly, huh? Now you're checking me for the dumbest stuff, bro. Come on, man. Let's be.
But did you say that though?
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna land my plane.
Oh my god!
You can find me on Azzy-Ohm on
Azzy, I need you. Yo, thank you.
Twitch.tv/Azzy-Ohm. You can find me on Twitter, Azzy-Ohm. Find me on TikTok. Find me on Instagram, Azzy-Ohm. I do funny content on TikTok. I do faith-based management on Instagram. I play games on Twitch, and I talk about anime and TV shows and funny stuff that happens on Twitter. I've been gone for a little bit.
He's not gonna stop.
Y'all are disrespectful. Go ahead, Ree. By the way, Ree, I want to say I'm glad to see you here. Is this your first time here? Because I've been in your stream. We played Words with Friends. All right, and I love your stream. I just want to say that you should go to her. So now it's her time to chill.
All right. Well, okay.
No, why? First of all, why am I always going when the ads playing?
Oh,
I think that's just you. It's not playing for me.
Busted.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I thought it was like a strategic move. I was like, that's actually
no, it's
kinda smart.
automatic. I guarantee
Oh,
you
okay.
that.
This is my first time here, and I feel really bad because PrimeCayes has been trying to get me on for like a year now, and that's not even a joke. And I've been watching a lot of the debates, and I do appreciate them, and I'm happy to be on, despite me definitely trolling in the beginning because I'm not about to talk to just black men about gender tropes. I just don't think that's a fair debate for me. Also, I came in literally after I wrapped from G4, where I work. So make sure y'all tune into G4, twitch.tv/G4TV.
Oh, where you lit as fuck?
Make sure y'all tune into that, okay?
What,
Thursdays, 2 p.m. Pacific specifically, and then
That's
after.
cool.
Are you on? Are
Um,
you
That is
on their
fun.
talent?
I am a producer for them. Yeah, so I write and produce content. I also produce and write my own content and edit it. I don't play music, so don't be thinking I be singing people like little love songs and stuff like that. Like, this is not what this is. Okay, I'm wholesome. I don't be singing no R&B songs. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this conversation. I would love to come back and talk about something other than politics, to be honest with you, because I'm like politics out. But like relationships, like health, therapy, that's the type of stuff I would love to chat about. And I really enjoyed everybody's perspective, even the people I didn't agree with. I think it's always good to hear from everybody's side because I think it's a good way to learn more about yourself and about the world when you get different perspectives. So I appreciate everyone in chat's perspective and also everyone in the panel's perspective. Don't disrespect me though, because talk to me nice. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 30 plus.
Whoa.
But talk to me nice. But we cool. We cool.
I reject the panel being only men. Jamali one of them they thems. Speak up.
One of them.
One of them they thems.
Jamali.
I mean, huh?
He wasn't.
Did you?
They weren't paying attention.
He wasn't paying
Don't worry
attention.
about
Okay,
it.
it's
Yeah,
cool.
Jamali is a they.
All right.
Excuse me. I should have said I'm the only woman here. Apologies.
Yeah,
not-
we're trying to build up
Right.
that segment. Look, if you guys, guys and gals, if you know any other women who want to be a part of this, right? I reached out to Jay Cook, but she
The more
couldn't make
women,
it
the
today.
merrier. I think.
I have one. She being lame. I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah. So like, if you guys know someone who might be interested, then let
Priestess
me know.
said she was just coming from Jamaica. I had hit her up too.
Mistress,
No,
Hey.
priestess.
priestess. Oh, okay, priestess. Okay, cool. All right. Well then, thanks.
Oh, I forgot. Follow me on TikTok, Tanea Ree, Twitter, Instagram, Riri on Twitch.
Okay.
I'm bad at plugging myself. Sorry.
Oh, fair enough. No, that's what you got to be doing, right? And let's shout out to you. Let's put that shout out in chat so everyone goes and follow Riri, right? Partner here on Twitch, right? Already blowing it up big, right? So check her out. Okay. And yeah, it's been more like a year and a half that I've been trying to get Riri on.
Yeah, and then as he shows up, and all good things start happening. I'm telling you, bro. When I show up, y'all get blessed. All right, telling y'all, man.
I'll take that.
I was just like, it can't be a coincidence. It cannot be a coincidence.
It can't be.
Bro.
No, you're right. You're right.
Start showing up.
I can't.
That's
I,
that.
There is no such thing as coincidence.
Flat Earth logic right there.
Okay.
Stop fighting your butt.
Synchronicity by Carl Jung. Come on now.
Telling you,
Conspiracy theories.
I pop
Okay.
in, the viewer count go up.
Oh boy,
Hell
people like seeing us dunk on you. All right, to my audience, we're going to continue on to open walk on panel. Anyone here can join us, but if not, that's okay. Thanks for your time, your energy, your knowledge, and your passion with my community. I know they appreciate you as much as I do.
Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
As you know what time it is, Ash.
These
Don't run.
Negroes.